Hello everyone, and welcome to our Minecraft 120 Let's Play. We're here outside of our wool farm that we finished up last week. But I've got a little problem. I don't know if you could see on the roof, but that copper is starting to age, and I don't want that to age at all. So I think today we need to get an apiary made so that we can start harvesting honeycomb and honey blocks from the bees. Because right now, all the honey I've been harvesting has been coming out of this single little beehive, and it's getting just a little tedious to continue that. So I think what I want to do now is take a little trip around the world and start gathering up a bunch of these beehives. So come along with me and let's go adventuring. Our first one has been sitting down here by the barn the whole time. I haven't seen any bees come in and out of this, but we'll be able to breed them up really fast once we get some other beehives. I've also had one here tucked under the nether portal for a while, so I'll collect that one as well. So I know I've seen quite a few out here at the cherry blossom biome, so let's head over there and let's see how many more of these beehives we can get. Oh, and look, we've got two hives right here next to each other. Let's grab those as well. Oh, maybe we'll wait till nighttime for the bees to go in. Hey, look, we got an achievement for that. Oh my goodness, and there's two more right here. Oh my, is that two on a tree? No, those are two separate trees. Well, let's let the bees go back into their home and then we'll take them. Wow, that was one of my easiest trips ever. Look at this, I ended up with 14 beehives. I think part of the reason I got so lucky is because those cherry blossom biomes are where I gathered all of the wood that I needed at the beginning of this series, and I made sure to replant a lot of trees that I took. So I think when they all grew, a lot more of them got beehives, but that made my life a lot easier now. Now I've got a plan for this apiary. It's going to be growing off of a large branch off of the mountain here and come down into a giant beehive. So I think what I need to do is get this area cleared and start gathering all of the blocks that I'm going to need for this build. So the first thing I'm going to need to gather is a lot of yellow terracotta. And because I need to make sure everything looks nice, I just need to take down all the rest of the other colors on this layer too. And then I'm going to need to get a lot of oak wood, so we've got to get all these trees chopped down. Here in my inventory, you could see a bunch of redstone that I've collected in order to build the apiary. And the last thing that I need for the build is a bunch of honeycomb blocks, but that's where I run into a little bit of a problem. The problem is I need to get the bee part of the farm built before I can get all of that honeycomb, because it would take way too much time to just gather it by hand. So, before I could get started on the main part of the build, let's dig out the side of the mountain and we'll create the place that we're going to put all the bees. Okay, now that I've got a good area dug out here, we can start working on building up the bee farms. I do have one issue though, is that some of these bee nests I collected don't have bees in them. So what I want to do here is just make a little enclosure so that I can stick some bee nests in and start breeding some bees to make sure that all of the hives have enough bees in them. I'm going to put double doors here so that way the bees can't escape when I leave, and I'll be able to close one door behind me and open the other. Ooh, and now I get to start placing all the hives I've collected. Well, see, there's not that many bees in there. Come on, guys. We'll have to wait for more before you get to breed. And while I've got all these little guys growing up, I want to get started on putting together one of the farms. On this side, we're going to farm honeycomb, and then on this side, we're going to farm honey bottles. And on each side, we're going to have 7 hives along the wall here. So let's mark out that space. Then I can add the flowers in, and the bees will be able to harvest pollen from these flowering azalea bushes. Then I'm going to add in some hoppers to collect the honey from under the beehives. And now I want to start putting the dispensers in, but they're going to need to face down into the hives. So if I put a block above these, that will allow me to stand down here and place the dispensers so they're facing correctly. Oh, missed that one. Well, it's nighttime, and it looks like all the bees have found their home, except for a handful of them. In order to pick up the beehives without making the other bees mad, I want to put some campfires underneath here. And I want to make sure that I'm using a silk touch pickaxe. Otherwise, I will have just wasted all the time and it will break these, and I won't get anything out of it. Oh, just trying to figure out why I wasn't collecting them, and then I realized they don't stack. Well, let's hurry and get these in some storage. And now I can just collect up these campfires. And I'll wait and decide what to do with you guys in a bit. I realized I just want to get a little lighting in here so that I can see better. I really dislike having dark farms. But now I can take down these extra blocks. And it's time to start working on the redstone in the back. I'm going to be using the smooth stone for all of the redstone. What I want to do is start by putting 2 blocks right behind the dispenser and one underneath. And then what we'll do is we'll take a block and place them diagonally here. And then we want to take some comparators and face them outwards. I'm then going to finish this line right here. And then I want to place some redstone right here and some up here. And if you have blocks above this, you can always just click and it will place the redstone right below it. See? Got a nice line right there. And then I'm going to add in another block above the comparators. Oh. And add some more redstone on top of that. So you can see we've got it all covered there. And lastly, what you want to do is I added some temporary blocks right here so that diagonally from this stone, I'm going to take a half slab and put it on the top side of it and go across. That way I can add some redstone right here. And because it's a half slab, it won't be cutting off any of the redstone below. And then I'll take that same half slab and put it up here and add redstone. And that will connect the redstone all the way under, because if you put a full block here, it would cut it off and you wouldn't get the signal. And that really is all you need for the system to collect the honey. And I better make sure this is sealed off too, so that way when the bees are in here, they can't escape. And now I'm going to start putting in the glass to seal off the enclosure. So I want blocks right there. And then I'm going to put some here and here. I'm going to wait just a minute until it's nighttime. I think I'm getting close. Because that way, I can then put the beehives in, and the bees will stay in while I seal this up, and they won't come out until morning. Okay, and it looks like it's nighttime, so let's hurry and get these placed. Okay, and there you go. Now they're all trapped in here. Let's take a little sleep, and then you can see where they'll pop out in the morning. See? And there we go, and now they can start collecting all the honey. And the last thing to do is to fill all of these with shears. And if you want more shears in here, you can always add hoppers and chests above here to keep it fully stocked. And if your beehives were already full when you put them in, you will want to break the redstone here in order to reconnect the circuit so it shears everything. And there we go. Oh, see, we've already got a bunch of honeycomb in there. Now I'm just going to need to set up a collection system over here. And I think I've decided what I want to do with these bees. Sorry, guys. Guess I'm going to put you in some beehives. So, sorry, little guy. Well, let's get this section ripped down, and we can do the exact same thing from over there over here. And just like that, I've got the second section done. Now I'm just waiting for nighttime here to put all of these beehives in. Okay, with those in, now all I need to do is get a lot of glass bottles up in those dispensers. Let's see how many... Oh my goodness! Wow, they all came in and out at once. Well, let's see how many glass bottles that I can make with the glass I've got here. Oh, that's not very many. I think I'll have to go to my librarians and get some more glass. And first I'm going to need to grab some iron to trade with my villagers in order to get emeralds for the librarians. And here we are. One of these days I need to make a home for all of them. But until then, they're just going to stay here. And how about you give me all your emeralds? And now that I have some emeralds, I can come and get some glass from these guys. Okay, I've got a good chunk of glass traded for now. Let's see how many bottles we can make. Oh, I don't think this is going to go as far as I thought it would. I am going to have to do a lot of trading off camera. But let's get these all put in so we can at least get some going. Oh, I forgot you have to have these all filled up with the bottles, otherwise the honey pops right back in. Okay, so as I've been filling up the glass bottles, I noticed that this hopper is filling up pretty darn fast. So I need to hurry and get a collection system put in here. I realized in order to build the collection system, I'm going to need to dig out some more of the wall here. So why don't I get that done real quick? With that all dug out, I can now start on the collection system. I want to start by putting a dropper facing out, and then I'm going to connect the hoppers up to it. I'll put a piece of soul sand here because I'm going to make a bubble elevator up that will go across and lead to a storage system like over here. So before I get all the redstone in, I want to build up the walls for the bubble elevator. At the top of the elevator, I'm going to leave a 1-block gap, but I'm going to leave the blocks there for now so that I can place the hoppers all facing down. Then I can go through and clear out the blocks that I'll need in order to fit the water path there. And as I normally do, I'm going to surround it by a block that's not normally found in nature, so if I come across it, I will know not to dig that out. And now I want to get the water in. I'm going to place the water right here, so that way it will flow across and down, and then I'll put kelp up in order to create the elevator. So with the kelp, it just turns all those into source blocks. And now I can just seal up down here. And that is all self-contained. And here I'm putting the chests in. I'm going to do 4 across and 3 up, and turn those all into double chests so I have plenty of storage. And then back here, I'll just take the hoppers and connect them in. And now I'm going to put in the redstone system that will dispense the blocks out of here so that they can go up through here and into the chests. I'm going to start with placing a block right next to the hopper and a comparator going out, another block next to that, a piece of redstone there. So I actually took that first block out real quick to put a temporary there and to put an observer facing into that. Now I can remove that block and place that one there, and I'll place a block on the diagonal with the redstone in there. Gonna take a repeater and face it towards the observer and add one more piece of redstone, and that will start the clock going. While I've been waiting for the honeycomb to build up, I've been doing a little work on the interior. I've left this part of the floor open because I wanted to use honeycomb blocks there, but I'm saving them for the build outside. I still have to get the ceiling done as well, but I want to get started on the build out here. And so what I want to do is start by building a big branch that comes out this way, and then a giant beehive will hang from it right there. So how about I get started on the time lapse of that? This is the basic shape of the beehive done. It still looks a little clunky though. I'm going to need to go in and take some blocks off and kind of smooth it out a little bit more, but that's going to be a little finicky to do on camera. So how about I get that done and I'll be right back. Oh, now that looks a lot better. I'm so pleased with that shape, and I added in some windows to let some light in, and I think it helps break up all of the yellow a little bit too. It helps it make it look like there are entrances for giant bees to go in there. So now what I want to do is work on getting some greenery coming up and around here, working on the interior of the beehive and finishing up the interior of the bee farm. I'll get to work on the bushes first. I want to do like a waterfall of the cherry leaves flowing down, just to bring some of the pink color over. And then I'll take the azalea leaves going up and kind of dripping down the beehive. Okay, so I've got a bunch of landscaping done. I made this path coming up here next to the beehive. It will eventually go down and around to our storage trunk, but I've added some bushes here and some lighting, some fences. So I think it all just fits in really nice. And I've even brought the tree trunk around a little and filled in this little cave area and just added a lot more bushes. So I think that looks great. I think the next thing we need to do is work on this ceiling in here, because otherwise it looks pretty good except for that. And I'll start with digging out up above here a little, because I kind of want to make the roof just a little arched. Looks like I'm going to have to go through and fix above ground as well. I'll start with adding in some copper blocks here to kind of bring these pillars around. And then I'm going to add in some stairs next to the copper. Bring in some slabs up above and some slabs down below to finish off the curve. And then probably just put a trapdoor on top of each of these lights. Okay, and I think it just needs a few little finishing touches in here. How about some pots with a torch flower in them on top of these? I can put some shelving here and here and add some beautiful azalea leaves. And then I've got some brown candles I can add in as well. Oh, that looks so cute. And then I did just finish off the wall back here with some more bushes and another torch flower. Okay, and I am totally in love with how this interior turned out. It's so nice to see all of the bees when they pop out and work. And I've got plenty of lighting and it still feels really natural in here. So now all I need to do is finish the interior of this build. And it doesn't need a whole lot of it done. I've smoothed out the walls and added in the windows. Now I just need to get some better lighting in here. And probably just some plants for decoration. Oh goodness! You snuck up on me. Oh look, I got ahead. I guess you could stay in here now. And I'll start in here with a big bright chandelier. I love using these hoppers to hang them from. And I'll break out a few blocks in the corners here just to add some decorative terracotta. Oh, I got these facing the wrong way. There I go. Sometimes those can be a little tricky. And I'm just going to add some trapdoors here to bring the design out a little more. I'll add an oak fence and some chains. And then I'll have the first level of the chandelier right here. Oh, ouch. And I'll add in some brown candles and light them up. I could put some more chain here so that I can create another level of the chandelier, but I'll also hang some lanterns along here too. Well, I guess that's going to be too low, so maybe I will just stick with that one layer. I think it looks good that way though. let's take out these torches. Make sure it's still lit up good. Oh yeah, there's still plenty of light in here. And now I just want to get some decorations on the walls. And then the last things I'll add in here will be some bushes and some flower pots. And I guess I shouldn't forget the flowers in them as well. Oh, and this turned out so good. And what we're going to use this little building for is I've got those beehives left from those extra bees we had. So if I ever need more bees, this is a nice enclosed space that I can come in and breed them up and then take them with me. And over here across the way, you could see the beehive and how it hangs. I think this looks so beautiful. I love the flowers cascading down the side and all of the green vinery coming up around that stem. It just makes it look so organic and natural, like it's been there forever. And the windows really feel like those are entrances for the bees to fly in and out of. But I really do love how this build turned out. I hope you guys all had a great time watching this as well. This definitely wasn't exactly how I had this planned when I first started it, but I think it turned out awesome just the way it is. Oh, but it does look like the sun is starting to set, so it's probably time to say goodbye for this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I can't wait to see you all next time.